I want an old-fashioned girl. I want an old-fashioned girl.
Hi, and welcome to Stick It in Your Pie Hole. My name is Heather, and this is the show where we make pies for your pie hole, drinks for your drink hole, and I go ahead and assume that those are both the same hole for you that they are for me. Today on the show, I'm doing what I do best and making it all about me. We're going to be making my favorite pie, which is salted caramel apple, you're welcome, and my favorite drink. For this drink, you're going to need a glass with ice, whiskey, onto the pie. Okay, so first things first, we're going to make the caramel for our salted caramel apple pie. What you're going to need is a pan, a stove. Start by adding 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of water. Turn on your burner to a low heat. Stir the water and sugar until the sugar has dissolved. If you're making caramel at home, it is extremely easy to burn, so be careful. If at any point your pot starts to smoke, you've burned it and you need to start again. To the genius who first boiled butter, sugar, and cream together and thought, hey, fuck it, let's just put it on everything, I commend you. It's just so good. I love whiskey so much because it's got that warm and tingly, and it's amazing. So once the sugar and water have dissolved together, add 2 sticks of butter. Keep stirring this. Turn up the heat just slightly. Once the butter is melted in, bring it to the boil. Keep it at the boil until it turns to like a coppery golden color. One of life's fun little ironies, while eating caramel is one of my favorite things, making it is not. Pretty. You got quite a range on those gams. Legs for days, this one has. Legs for days.
Legs for like an afternoon.
That's alright, I have legs for about 20 minutes. Yummy. Bubbling. Once you have this like coppery, thick, bubbly, golden mixture, take it off the heat. As soon as you take the caramel off the heat, add 1 cup of cream and stir that in. Put this back on the low heat while you're stirring. Once you have your cream mixed in, bring it back up to the boil just one more time.
Modern working girl.
I'm a multitasker, you guys. Once it's bubbling, add 3 teaspoons of coarse sea salt. So once the salt is dissolved, get off the heat, let it cool, set it aside while we work on the apple filling. So while the caramel cools, we are moving on to our apple filling. We're just going to peel, core, and slice them. Ta-da! So for this recipe, we're actually going to cut our apples into slices rather than chunks because it will make things just a little easier when layering in the caramel at a later stage. 1, 2, 3. So like this one time at pie camp, God, it's gone. I can't find it.
It's an apple trap.
Jesus, my shirt is tucked in. It's now like firmly in my pants.
That's what she said.
Sorry, minor wardrobe malfunction. I will resume slicing apples like the prim and proper lady that you all know me to be. Now that we have our apple slices, we're going to add 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. Also 1/4 cup of cornstarch, a 1/2 cup of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of dried orange peel, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 giant swig of whiskey. Mix it all up. You're gonna mix it till the apples are like well coated. Ooh, and another one. Jeez, it's like they know what's coming. Although, personally, if I were smothered in caramel and baked, I wouldn't mind that much. Now that I live in California, I can totally do that because it's legal being covered in caramel. Which I think is legal anywhere as long as it's consensual. I'll have to look that up. Oh my god. Is it weird that I want to put that in my whiskey? Alright, so once your apples are like coated with your seasoning and they're all good and proper, bring your caramel back over. Put a layer of apples on the bottom of your pie crust in a 9-inch pie dish. Also at this point, preheat your oven to 350. So make an even as you can layer of apples on the bottom of the pie crust, and then you're just going to spoon caramel over that. And then you're just going to repeat the process. More apples, more caramel, more apples, more caramel, etc., etc., etc. Oh my god, I'm getting a little turned on by this pie, I'm not going to lie. Okay, for this pie, I'm going to do a lattice top crust. So what you're going to need is to take your second pie crust, roll it out flat, and then cut it into about 1-inch wide strips. I can't cut in a straight line at all. It's alright, I can't walk in one either at this point. So start by laying out your strips. When you start crossing, you're going to take one, and then just go the opposite way with the next one. So under, over, and the opposite way again with the next one. It's a tap pastry. So once your pastry is all woven through and you have it where you want it, just trim the ends. Make sure to seal them in at the edges. So I'm making this pie for a party. I was commissioned to make it, which means I can't eat it for this episode, which, believe me, I'm more upset about than you are. You have no idea. Now, when you're putting this pie in the oven, caramel will bubble over, and if it gets on your oven, it'll burn shit, so just make sure that it's on something that will catch the excess caramel. Beat 1 egg in a bowl and use that to brush the top of the pastry. We're just going to take some of the leftover caramel and drizzle it. This is straight up pornographic, you guys. This video should be R-rated. And then just brush the pastry gently with the egg wash. For our very last step, we're just going to sprinkle with a very little bit of cinnamon sugar and coarse sea salt. There we have it. Our salted caramel apple pie is ready for the oven. Bake it for about half an hour at 350. So the reason I like this pie so much is because it's a lot like me. It's salty, sweet, and anything goes with it. Wow. Here we have our salted caramel apple pie. I highly recommend letting this cool for a long time because superheated sugar burns like a bitch. Drink up, let it cool, smother it in ice cream, and go to town. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click the links below to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please subscribe, share us with your friends, get in touch with us, let us know if there are recipes you want us to try, drinks you want me to get drunk on. Love to hear from you. Have a wonderful day. Cheers.
That's a wrap on this pie. Bye, pie.